The Art of Avengers Infinity War. Now, this book is pretty amazing just for the art of Thanos alone, the concept design of Thanos alone. So we're going to take a quick look. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for more book reviews like this. We'll go over all the art books, especially from the Marvel series, but also DC, computer games, everything. And normal books as well. So make sure you subscribe for that. Anyway, this is a beautiful book. Great art from Ryan Meriden and the visual team at Marvel. See at the front, we've got the Battle of Titan with Thanos versus the Avengers there and the Guardians. Great scene. And here we have the Battle of Wakanda. And we see Black Panther and Captain America center frame. We've got Doctor Strange, which is part of this scene actually. It bleeds into here. And then you've got Thanos putting the final Infinity Stone in Wakanda, which was the Mind Stone, into the gauntlet. Thor, you've got Stormbreaker, you've got the Wakandans and the Avengers fighting in Wakanda. It's a great scene. Beautiful art book. And that's the slipcase. So it's nice, solid slipcase that you get with the book. Keeps it nice and safe on your shelf. It looks beautiful as well. Just put that aside for now. And let's take a look at the inner book. So here we have this beautiful art of Thanos here with the Infinity Gauntlet and the planets in the background. Got the kind of plane that he went to, ancestral plane, or not ancestral plane, but spiritual plane, where he saw the young Gamora after he had snapped his fingers. Brilliant. In the book, I'd say is mainly about Thanos in this, I would say. As the film was, of course, he was kind of like the main protagonist. And then you've got the fallen Avengers. So from Loki, you got Nick Fury, you've got Falcon, Wanda and Vision, you've got Doctor Strange, Black Panther. Who's that? God, I can't even see there. Is that Drax? Yeah. Mantis, we have Groot, we have Star-Lord, and of course we have Peter Parker and the Winter Soldier. Bucky is there as well. So it's really nice. I mean, when you look at the collage like that, it takes the minute just to kind of see everybody, like even Winter Soldier here. You might miss him if you blink. Let's take a look inside. So this will be like a quick well, not too quick, but like a flick through. I'll probably do a more detailed review of this on the channel, so do make sure you're subscribed to see that. Okay, so Thanos on the Black Order. And I love this image. This was one of the first images I saw from the movie, the concept art I'd seen from the movie. This collage of all the characters. It's beautiful. And Thanos in the middle with the Infinity Stones kind of glowing. Black Order in the middle there. So you've got the different chapters. Again, nice beautiful concept art for Thanos. And that's what we saw at the in the cover. There's a forward from Ryan Meriden. So he's the head of visual production at Marvel. It's seen on the ship of the Asgardians at the beginning, with Thanos and the Black Order attacking. And then we get into Thanos, played by Josh Brolin. One of the best villains, if not the best villain of all time for me. Absolutely loved the portrayal. Knew he was going to be amazing. Just seeing him in that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy alone, I was just like, and Josh Brolin was playing him at that time as well. Even though he had a slightly different look, the look obviously evolved a lot, and this book really shows like a lot of the concept art around his character. You see obviously his face, his head sculpt, like, and obviously went with this minimalist kind of look in this film. because he has the gauntlets, so he doesn't need his armor. So he stripped his armor after he got the second gauntlet, the second stone in that opening scene. Love this. It shows like different expressions. We didn't get the grinning Thanos that we got in Guardians of the Galaxy, which is very reminiscent of Thanos. But I'd like to have seen that. Didn't really get that. And I think the Russo brothers were very inspired by Genghis Khan. They were saying like he's the Genghis Khan of the Marvel universe, coming to conquer basically and take over. But in a way, I think that's a nice, interesting portrayal of him. I think that's more of an Endgame Thanos than this. This one, he was more trying to. He almost seemed noble in his. Although what he was doing was wrong, he seemed noble in his pursuit. He was trying to do what was best for the humanity, he thought. And spoiler alert if you've seen it's the Eternals, he was kind of right. And yeah, here you go. You got some nice concept art from all the different costume designs for Thanos that they had here, which is really good. Love some of the robes, some of the armor. You know, it's more close to his traditional Thanos look that you see in some of the comics. It's really good, just in terms of its art. His concept art for Thanos, so many different looks that they didn't use in the film, and that's what I love about these books. They show all these ideas that the team had and that they didn't necessarily implement, but it's good to see where they kind of derived their ideas, and where they ended up in the film was somewhere along it was the process of doing all these different designs that kind of like informed where they went. You know, it's good to see the journey. Again, there's a lot of commentary from the team. Love these sketches of Thanos here, especially sitting on throne kind of image. I love that. It's topless there with the helmet. Didn't get to see a look like that, but you know, still good ideas. Look at these robes, really nice. You know, and he's got a weapon there. Obviously we don't see him with a weapon, traditional weapon in this film, but we do in Avengers Endgame with the double-bladed sword. I'll go over that book as well. So there we go with Thanos again. This was like reminiscent of the Thanos on throne that we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy, this floating throne, and he's kind of got this kind of almost Egyptian look here. And there he is with the gauntlet. He's showing some of the Infinity Gauntlet design. There he is again with different designs of the gauntlet. Like seeing all this lighting as well, like these little effects, like flaming effects there, that's rendered really nicely. Showing the glow from the gauntlet. That's an interesting look, like where it's got this blue kind of tint glowing completely on the gauntlet. Another interesting design. Different ways to like display the stones or to place the stones on the gauntlet. Ebony Maw, what a great character. Criminally underutilized in this film, I think. He died off too early, but it was really cool character. Good rival to Doctor Strange. You see it in some of the comics actually, where him and Doctor Strange go head to head, and he actually is able to manipulate Doctor Strange into like summoning like demons from Elseworlds and things of that nature. So you know, they touched a little bit on that in this film, not as epic as some of the comics have shown, but like still, you know. And you got Cole Obsidian. He's known as Black Dwarf in the comics, but they changed it to Cole Obsidian in this. The big brute of the Black Order. Really good design on him. Again, he's very much a warrior character, whereas Ebony Maw's more like a science, almost like a sorcerer stroke scientist. He's less physical, but he's got like his powers of similar to Doctor Strange in a way, but more sorcery powers. But with Corbus Obsidian. He's more of a warrior. Again, he's got this kind of axe and hammer weapon. So they've got the different designs. Got him with firearm weapons as well as his axe stroke hammer. It kind of like was retractable as well. It did different things as well. They wanted to push him into something more like a bounty hunter. That's what the commentary says here. So even like here, you see a little bit of that in his armor, in his shoulder pads with the guns. He looks kind of like a bounty hunter here, you know, just the design of some of these character designs here. They make him look a bit more sophisticated as opposed to a brute, you know. And that's when he had the blade arm after his arm had been chopped off from the portal from Wong. And he saved Iron Man. Basically put him into the Antarctic or whatever, and he tried to reach out. Maybe got his arm chopped off. So that's him utilizing his chopped off arm as this bladed weapons. That's from the rest of the film. Then we've got Proxima Midnight here. This is her designs. This is pretty much what you saw in the film. Really good design. Now these characters are a lot more deadly in the comics. Like apparently, like some of the stuff she could do is so much more menacing. But they kind of they've done with a lot of characters in the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. They've kind of like depowered them a little bit, which is a bit disappointing. You want them to be a bit more powerful, but I guess they wanted to make it more about Thanos. And just have them as kind of like the generals to do Thanos' bidding, or the children of Thanos as they describe them. Again, some of her designs of her arm gauntlet kind of thing. There's some more uglier designs of her. Love the weapon though, it's really good. It's got this three head spear kind of thing. Then you got Corbus Glabe. Again, more powerful in comics, definitely portrayed more powerfully in the comics. Like this Glade makes him like super invincible, but they didn't really show that in this film. He wasn't really that same character, you know. But he looks menacing. I mean, his design is very menacing. Like he's got that kind of evil look, which is really good. He almost looks like a Grim Reaper type of character. I mean, look at this. Like with the hood and his look, you know, and the Glade, he looks very Grim Reaper-ish, you know, or even Dark Elf kind of thing. So there's some of the designs on him are very good, and if you see some of the designs, the sketches in the comics as well, like you see a lot of that. He has a very frightening look. I'm not sure I like this look as much. I prefer some of the previous looks that we saw of him, you know. But they didn't go with that in the end anyway. It makes him look more like Cold Obsidian there. Really nice design though. And there he is destroying someone, cutting them in half. Again, we don't get to see that kind of brutality in the film. Would have been good. But I mean, the film was still great anyway, but it would have been nice to have seen some of that. The Sanctuary 2, so this is Thanos' ship. This is what we see at the end of Thor Ragnarok in the post-credit scene, and also, or the pre-post-credit scene, and obviously at the beginning of the film when they attack the Asgardian ship. And then we got Thor. He was kind of like the second lead in this film. I'm glad that they gave Thor more of an arc, because like in previous Avengers films, I think that they had shortchanged Thor a little bit, but now that they seem to be more focused since Thor Ragnarok, they focused a lot more on Thor, and they've given him a more interesting story arc. And Chris Hemsworth himself, the actor who plays Thor, is a lot happier with like the role, the way that he's been portrayed now, especially Taika Waititi, the director of Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder. He loves his direction that he's taken Thor. It's got a lot of comedy, but I think the Russo brothers brought it back to the seriousness a lot more in this film, which was great. And his arc to get Stormbreaker and to kind of redeem himself for losing his Asgardians, you know, Loki, Heimdall, you know, they all perish and half of the Asgardians on the ship. I like these designs of Thor, Stormbreaker, different looks. I like the fact they went with the short hair, just gave him a different look, but it looks very Viking-like here, which is I think is really awesome. Here more like a space pirate, like they call him. Obviously I love the one-eyed look, but I don't think Thor with a gun really works. I mean it can, but it's better to see him with like a traditional weapon like the axe or the hammer, of course, the Mjolnir or Stormbreaker. These are some really nice designs. Love the red cloak, really good. Makes him look very regal because he is royalty, you know. He is the Prince of Asgard, or the King of Asgard, really. Obviously after Odin passed away. It's really nice designs as a Thor. And then they even went like very different here, you know. Make him look almost like an Asgardian. Sorry, not Asgardian, a Guardian of the Galaxy. Asgardian of the Galaxy, should we say. So there's so many different designs, as you can see here, for the Thor character. And here's some storyboards from the opening scene where Thanos takes on the Hulk, which was really epic because you could see it wasn't about brute strength. Thanos had the martial arts skills from battle because he's just a better warrior. So he's able to overcome him. Really nice rendered sketch here. You know, Thanos and the Black Order. And then you see Thor and Loki kind of looking over at him. No Heimdall in that image. When he had the Tesseract, the Space Stone. Loki trying to deceive Thanos. Really nice image of Thanos there. Look at that. Beautiful image. The artwork in this book is just gorgeous, you know. Gives you a different perspective of the film and the visuals that they wanted. Again, some more storyboards from the opening scene. The destruction of the ship. And then we go to New York. There's Ebony Mars, kind of donut-shaped spaceship. Some nice concept of Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner. You got Wong in the background. Some of the destruction in New York. See, and they go over like the donut ship, and you got this image of Wong and Doctor Strange and Ebony Maw battle. And you got Iron Man in the Mark 50. So this suit was probably, I think this has been his most powerful suit. It's more powerful than the Mark 85 that they used in Endgame, I think. Because it was almost like it reminded me of, it was very much reminiscent of what we were seeing in the Black Panther movie just before this. Obviously, Black Panther's nanotech suit, they wanted to kind of make sure Iron Man could keep up with that Wakandan tech. So they had this kind of suit, which was like, almost like bleeding edge, I guess, bleeding edge armor from the comics, I believe. It's a really good suit, but I think a lot of people describe it as a kind of magical, and it does seem a bit magical, the technology. It seems like something that I think, like, I don't know if he would necessarily have developed at this point, as brilliant as he was. I think it would have been a more of a Wakandan tech. So if he had like spent time in Wakanda with the vibranium, I think it would have been more believable that he would have created this at that point, because it just seemed a bit too powerful. And again in Endgame, I feel like the Mark 85 was a good suit, but it wasn't as good as this. This was just like magical, you know. And I love the way it came on. He had it as a chest plate, taps the chest plate, pulls on his clothes to make them tighter, and it just kind of seams on like this. Like this transition shows it. It's just brilliant. Here comes the Invincible Iron Man. Some really good concepts. You see how it's embedded in his chest. Oh, it's not even embedded, it's like placed on his chest, because the arc reactor is no longer a part of him. This was some good renders from him having this kind of like wetsuit kind of thing, and then how it forms on him, how the nanotech, the the nanomites, whatever, just like form and create the Mark 50 armor. See, this armor was good because it could create bladed weapons as well, you know, as projectile weapons. So it was very magical in a way, like just how crazy, like the amount of things that Tony could do with this suit, you know. He almost turned into a transformer a little bit, you know. So look, even here, like it almost looks reminiscent of like Gundam, like some of these designs, or Transformers, like all that kind of anime thing that you see. A little bit anyway, you can see the inspiration, you know. Like, it's really, really powerful suit. To me, this is Iron Man's most powerful suit, this Mark 50. Then you got the Iron Spider. So this is obviously the tech suit that Tony Stark created for Spider-Man, with the tentacles. I think it would have been better if Peter had created this himself. You know, Peter's a scientist. You know, I don't think he necessarily needs Iron Man to create it for him. If he worked with Iron Man to get the resources and the materials to create it, I think it would have been better if they'd showed that Peter had actually developed this himself. And you see the tentacles, different aspects of that. There's Peter on the ship. Like this design, this is like an interesting design that you see from some of the comics with the red and gold. It's very nice. And you see another one here. It's a nicely fully rendered image of that red and gold suit, but then there's a black one. That's the more traditional, the one he had from before. But again, that was another Iron Man outfit. So they should have showed one with him that he created, other than the homemade suit that they showed in Homecoming. The Q ship. So this is the ship that they go to Titan with from Ebony Maw. You got Iron Man and Spider-Man hanging off the ship. And it shows some of the interior design of the ship, which is really good. It goes into detail about the design. Nicely rendered image. That's Ebony Maw there. And Thanos on a kind of AR, augmented reality kind of heads up display or something. And then you see Iron Man on the ship. There's Ebony Maw piloting the ship. Doctor Strange, that looks like a projection. Doctor Strange wants to protect the Time Stone by bringing it back to Earth. Okay. That looks like a projection of, like an astral projection of Doctor Strange in this rendered image with Iron Man. Space. So some of the stuff with the Guardians, when they see Thor, crashes into their ship. And there's the Guardian ship. Pretty nice design. Goes over some of that here. Some of the details of the ship here. Escape pod. So that's the escape pod that Rocket, Groot and Thor take with them to go to nowhere. Not nowhere. Where was it? Was it Neverkalia? That's it, where he forged the Stormbreaker. And then you got Groot, teenage Groot, who in this film was just the grumpy teenager until the moment he had to create Stormbreaker. And obviously the Battle of Wakanda, you see him fighting there, but otherwise he was just playing the computer game the whole time. And some nice designs here. I think this is when they'll go to nowhere. And the Collector on the run. We've got Wanda and Vision. It's got some storyboards of their fight. Look, she's using her powers, her hex powers, to kind of protect her and self and Vision from Corbus Glabe and Proxima Midnight. And then the man, Captain America, arriving. Steve Rogers grabbing Proxima Midnight's spear midair. And then Captain America. This was a great look for Steve Rogers. I really liked it. The bearded look made him look more rugged, more like Nomad Captain America. I think that was very inspired by that. You see him there with his gauntlets that was created in Wakanda, I think. I think that's the gauntlets. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the Wakandan gauntlets that T'Challa demanded that the Wakandans made for him or got for him. Some nice looks here. Looks very military, more military based. Even a bit more military without the stars and stripes, you know. Because remember, he's a soldier. He's a super soldier, but he is a soldier. I like that look with him and the spear. It's really good. So that's more the traditional cap or look in the face that we see without the beard. But again, the black suit kind of like shows that he's no longer part of the US government. He's no longer part of, you know, he's on the run. He's a nomad. You know, him, Falcon and Black Widow were on the run for a while. Love this look. Love the scarf look. It's really cool with the beard. It makes him look very rugged. It makes him look like almost like a mercenary, and I really like that. Again, these Wakandan shields kind of has a retractor at the end, like a bladed weapon, but there's also a shield gauntlet. And there's different designs for it here. Like some of the toys, basically, when they first, the Hasbro Marvel Legends toys, they had this as the shield, which was inaccurate. But I guess they obviously got that from the concept art because they didn't know what the fully rendered final version of the shield was going to be. And it ended up being more like this design, which is really cool. Got Black Widow, again, giving her more of a on the run look with the hood, with the scarf. It's very cool. Good look for her. Many different renders of her images, of her costume. And then Falcon, again, he's got the red still in his outfit, but it's still very dark, more dark. Yeah, again, still got those bright red like highlights in his outfit, which is cool. And shows some of his wing expansions, his jetpack. And this is Red Wing, his kind of drone. So there's different designs of Red Wing as well. That makes it look more bird-like. Because in the comics, the Red Wing is an actual falcon. But obviously, the movies are a bit more about technology, so it made sense it was a drone. Fate of the Universe. This is Gamora and Thanos on Gamora's planet, and they showed when they cleansed half of the of her planet. And then we have Neverdelia, the heart of the dying star, in which Stormbreaker was formed by Ezreal. I forgot the Peter Dinklage played the giant dwarf. I forget who created the weapon for him, who forged Stormbreaker. And he also, and that's a great image of him there. Again, looks very Viking-like, which I really like. Very nice image. Looks like there's others there as well, there, unless they're statues. They look like other dwarves that have still survived. Rocket looking at the Infinity Gauntlet cast, realizing, hey, he had created that. Eitri, that's his name, sorry, Eitri. It's played by Peter Dinklage. Listen, he'll always be Tyrion Lannister to me. Tyrion is an amazing character, is one of my favourite characters, but of course he's playing Eitri in this. And Thanos had taken his hands, said, your hands belong to me. Now, after he created the Infinity Gauntlet. And looks, so that's interesting. See, showing Groot like growing some hands for him. See, there's all these different concepts that they had in the film. So it's showing some of Groot's usefulness in the film that they didn't show. Yeah, that's interesting. So that's what I love about these books. You see like different things they were possibilities in creating these scenes that didn't necessarily make the film. Some of those ideas are really cool though. You think, oh wow, they should have used that in the film, but it didn't necessarily work for the narrative they were going to tell. And then you got the designs of Stormbreaker. It's a great weapon with the handle of Groot's arm. It's a great image of Thor. Love the fact that these grooves kind of light up as well. It's just amazing. Love Thor as a character, is awesome. And yeah, this is a great image here. But they saved that, instead of showing this image when Thor finally got Stormbreaker, they saved it for the Battle of Wakanda, which was obviously more epic in the movie, which was a good choice. Then we got Nebula and her projection from her eyes, showing that, torturing her, and showing the different like renders of torturing her. Voldemort, where Thanos gets the Soul Stone, of course, sacrifices his daughter Gamora. Keeper of the Soul Stone, the Red Skull. Good to see him come back, because you did see in Captain America the First Avenger, which is a very underrated film, by the way. Where did he go? Where did the Tesseract take him? So many different looks. That's an interesting look. I'm glad they went with the look they did, though. Added to more of a mysterious character. This one looks a bit like Ghost Rider, I'd say. The skull look. That's a really good look as well. Almost look a bit more demonic here. A bit more frightening, but really nice designs. You see all these different iterations of the character that they had, you know, that they could have gone with, which is just so good. Thanos and his sacrifice of Gamora. That's an interesting perspective, seeing him looking over her as she falls. You see, as he pushed her over. Titan. Battle on Titan, Thanos' planet. This is a nice splash page of the Avengers and the Guardians battling Thanos on Titan. You see, obviously, some of Iron Man's weapons forming in the Mark 50. You've got Doctor Strange battling him, which was awesome to see Doctor Strange battling Thanos. You've got Drax the Destroyer. He was after Thanos for so long. Look at this, interesting how Doctor Strange grabs his mind, but it ended up being what's her name? Oh god, I've forgotten her name now. Basically, the other Guardians who grabbed her. Battle of Wakanda. Now, this part of the book I found interesting. Just like the movie, I was kind of disappointed. You don't actually see Black Panther at all in any of these. Why are we seeing Wanda and Vision? I know they had an epic scene, but this is Wakanda. You know, like, they don't show any concept art of any Wakandans in this, or Black Panther himself, which I found really odd. This is like Wakanda, and we don't see any rendered images of Black Panther or the Wakandans at all. It just focuses on everybody else, which is, I find, really strange. But anyway, got the Winter Soldier and his new arm created by the Wakandans. I love this design for him, like showing like the African kind of design, the Wakandan kind of armor. That, and I think that they should have showed the arm, like some of the technology that it could have had, other than just being a metal arm. Like, it's going to be an upgrade, so they should have had some guns or something, repulsor weapons. War Machine, I don't know what mark this is. I haven't read this part yet. Some interesting looks for War Machine. Love him with these big ray guns on the back. I think that's what makes him War Machine, when you see he's more built like a tank versus Tony Stark is Iron Man is more Ferrari. You got the Hulkbuster, which was used by Bruce Banner. Yeah, it's good design, but there's nothing like super interesting other than what it has. I would have liked to see the Panther Buster, because there's a Panther version of the Hulkbuster where Black Panther wields the Hulkbuster, or a Hulkbuster type weapon like that. It's called, I don't know if it's called the Panther Buster, but it was a similar weapon in the comics, and I would have liked to have seen that, to be honest, instead of seeing the Hulk Buster. So because they were in Wakanda, so they would use Wakandan tech, but they didn't. They didn't highlight that, which was very. That's the parts of the film I was very disappointed with. And here we see the Outriders attacking, and you've got Panther. You do have a little thing of Panther there, and Steve and Natasha. And then again, this is like the storyboard of them charging into battle against the Outriders. These massive columns that came down with the Outriders like a transportation. Then it shows the Outrider designs. These were quite menacing. They're like forearms. They've got. They're cannon fodder for the Battle of Wakanda. Thanos's kind of minions. Kind of shows like some more details of how they were transported and things of that nature. You've got Cap battling here. Some more images from the Battle of Wakanda. Again, with no Wakandans, it's like crazy that this concept art book doesn't have any of them. They see Captain America, like where's Black Panther, where's Okoye, where's the Wakandans? Like where's the Border Tribe, where's the Dora Milaje? I don't see any of them in this, which is so strange. You wouldn't have a battle of Asgard without seeing Thor, like, but in any of the concept art. And the film kind of reflected that a little bit. You didn't see Black Panther do much in this battle apart from lead the troops into battle with Captain America, which I was very disappointed with. I mean, I love the film, but those little things disappointed me a little bit. Because the trailer portrayed as if he would have been he was more involved than he was, and in Wakanda especially, like this Black Panther would be like the front and center usually, not everybody else. But here you got like Vision after he turns white after the stone is removed from Thanos. This is a really good image. Love that. Really expressive. You see Thanos, you could see like this just tells a story in itself. This is what I love about art. I love about concept art. Again, the film portrayed this very well, and this concept art portrays it very well. Vision being destroyed by Wanda while she's at the same time trying to stop Thanos, and Thanos is battling her. It's amazing, but obviously we know what happened at the end of that film. Great, love this. Looks like everybody's coming in, and then Thor comes crashing in as they all try and stop. Okay, you do see Panther here. Very small image of Panther. Cap. You got Black Widow, Thor, and Hulk all trying to stop him from clicking his fingers. And you got Thor cutting him off. His arm off. Or not his arm off, he's hit him in the chest like he did in the movie, of course. He's chopped his arm off. But I think they left it like that so you didn't know exactly what happened. Maybe they wanted to keep it a secret from the concept artists as well. And this beautiful image, I love this. Thanos clicking his fingers, disappearing everybody else, dusting everybody, and the Fallen. Avenge the Fallen, that was the Endgame marketing. And I love this kind of spiritual plane where he sees Gamora and he's like, oh, she's like, oh, did you do it? Yes. What did it cost? Everything. Brilliant. I wasn't reading that, by the way. I was reciting that from memory. Seen the film so many times. And it's got the contributions. Thanos on the farm, retired. He's achieved his purpose. That's what I liked about the character. Is that he's a man on a mission. He had his purpose, and he wasn't going to stop, and he was going to do what was necessary, despite obviously we not agreeing with what he did. But I think what people admired about him was seeing a man on his purpose, or he's an alien, but seeing someone on their purpose and like just being dedicated to the cause and what they believed was right. Love this image of Thor and Rocket fighting these giant serpent creature. I'd seen that actually in concept art before the film. Love that, the dusting of the A, the Avengers logo. And it's a beautiful book, absolutely worth getting. With obviously the main cover up, or hardcover. So definitely check out this video next. We got this list here of more Art of Marvel books here. There's plenty on the channel, so check them out, and also check this video out, you might enjoy as well. Make sure you subscribe for more book reviews like this, and I'll be going over concept art books as well as books to do with video games, books to do with all sorts of subjects. So make sure you're subscribed to the library.